Hello and greetings from the United States. I'm Thom Pollard. Thank you so much for this opportunity to say hello and greet nature and mountain lovers from Slovakia. I personally am someone who has devoted my life to seeking the great mysteries that we all search in the mountains. What drives us to go into nature, to find answers to questions that are yet unanswered. Some of those questions that we ask may never have an answer, but to keep searching is part of the spirit and why I never lose interest in looking up to the high peaks above me and around me in this great world. More than 100 years, 101 years to be exact, have passed since the disappearance of George Mallory and Sandy Irvin high upon the slopes of Mount Everest, and I am honored to have had the opportunity to be a part of this great mystery. I was a member of the 1999 expedition where George Mallory's remains were found up in the death zone on the North Face by Conrad Anker. I returned there a couple weeks later with my friend Andy Politz and became the only living human being to look into the face of George Mallory. What an honor, a somber honor of mine to be so close to one of the great explorers and mountaineers of all time. The thing about the expedition in 1999 is that while many questions were answered, there were many more unanswered questions about what happened, the fate of George Mallory and Sandy Irvin. Of course, we did not find the camera that we know George Mallory was known to be carrying on that day. Did it fall out of his pocket? Was it with Sandy Irvin? And then fast forward to just this past autumn, partial remains of Sandy Irvin were discovered on the central Rongbuk Glacier, answering some questions, yes, but proposing many more questions that we do not have the answer to. Where is the rest of Sandy Irvin? Will we find the rest of his remains? And if so, will there be a camera with him in one of his pockets? Personally, I think that if more searches are done in the central Rongbuk Glacier, the rest of Sandy Irvin's remains will indeed be found. However, due to the nature of the glacier pushing and moving and tumbling and grinding the contents of it, there's a good possibility that a camera, if Sandy Irvin did have it, will have been destroyed. So I don't really hold out hope that a camera is going to reveal any answers to the mystery of Mallory and Irvin. My good friend Julie Summers, the great niece of Sandy Irvin and his biographer, said the only way we'll know if they made it to the summit or not is if when they find Sandy, there might be a note in his pocket and he scribbled, "Yes, we made the summit!" exclamation point. But that's not very likely. So really, when you get down to it, the chances of this mystery ever being solved are very slim. But when are the great mysteries of life ever really solved? To me, this mystery of Mallory and Irvin represents the great mystery of my love of the mountains and of nature. It keeps calling me back. And of course, we find some satisfaction and growth and community in the mountains, but we keep coming back because the questions are never quite fully answered. And would it be such a bad thing if the mystery of Mallory and Irvin was never quite fully answered? Many of us believe that they did, in fact, make it to the summit, and many of us believe that they did not. And so what remains is this great fascination, bringing people together from all over the world to share in their theories and what happened to these two amazing men so long ago, to bring us together. That's the most amazing thing about it. If you ask me, I'm sitting here talking to a group of wonderful people in Slovakia from my home in the United States, because of George Mallory and Sandy Irvin. To them, I owe so much gratitude, and to you, I owe so much gratitude for this opportunity to say hello to you and to greet you. The mountains remind us of the strength of the human spirit, our desire to explore, and the profound connection we all share with nature. Thanks for your interest in this great mystery and for keeping the spirit of adventure alive. I hope that one day our paths will cross, but in the meantime, have a wonderful rest of this event, and thank you for this opportunity to share with you my passion of the mountains and of nature and of the mystery of Mallory and Irvin. May you find the mysteries you're seeking to answer in the mountains yourselves someday. Please do stay in touch. Until then, sending my greetings from the United States.